Hey guys, it's Saturday. Guess what's happening? We got a game coming up. Tomorrow we're going on to play the Minnesota Vikings. And, it's a matchup that's happened for a very, very long time between these two franchises. It goes back to 1961. And it's one of those games. I don't think they like us, and I don't think we like them. So if you've seen the thumbnail, you like that? Well, their quarterback right now has been coined. He says that a whole lot. It's rather funny. So let's get into this. I made something, and I want you guys to take a look at it. So take a moment, sit back, grab your cup of coffee, enjoy the ride, and if you make it back here, you'll see me again. All right, folks, hold on tight. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming. We put that together. Me and my lovely wife. We had a lot of fun putting that together, and we broke down some of those records, some of those history stats and things that we all like to know. So if you want to go back and pause at any time, or if you need to reference something, hopefully give you enough information there that'll get you inspired, and hopefully maybe walk away with a little bit more knowledge than you came today with. Right. So I'll bring on my buddy.
Hello, good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Corey. Would you do me the favor? We're going to run through the list and say good morning to all these lovely people.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys don't know, today is Saturday. You should know. Tomorrow is Sunday. Thought it would be a game, but it's not a game tomorrow. We got the game for Monday night. So let's go through this once again. John LaJoie, 49ers. Great guy. Started a channel. Check him out. We got Steve-O.
Yep.
We got Jim Everett the Great.
Good morning, everybody.
We got Damian Lee, Caitlin. Thank you so much. Laura.
What's up, Laura Cat?
We have Beto, Niner Sickness Podcast. Please check his show out.
What's up?
The Shaw Show.
The Shaw Show?
Yes, the Shaw Show. Onshaw. He just started his channel.
Show. Okay.
And he restarted it. So please go check his channel out. Make sure you're subbed. And then we have Tony Culp is here. We have Raphael. Please check Raphael out. Raphael's a great 49er. We would say friend. He's a Raider, and he'll tell you he's not the biggest 49er supporter, but he supports a lot of 49er content creators, and that's why I call him a friend. And then we got the notorious Gav. Shout out to Gav. Yep. Thank you for coming. All right, so we are having thank you, Chris, for showing up. I need to get back over there and check you out on Rombo, and we need to get you that hat. So Chris Hansen is a great guy. Chris Hansen supports a lot of channels, and here soon we'll be getting one of these in the mail. Thank you again, Chris. Chris, just through the chats and Rombo Sports and stuff, and very knowledgeable 49er fan, super faithful. Appreciate you for having me.
Channel, Chris.
Yeah, we got Corey here, and he has a channel, so check out Corey Davis. And come in sometime on a Wednesday and put your picks in. So, Corey, I was going through some of this stuff with the Vikings, and first off, how are you doing this morning, and what's your thoughts?
I'm doing pretty better than I was doing yesterday. Whew. Yesterday I was in lots of pain, but today I still feel a little pain there, but it's like at a 4 right now. So like yesterday, it feel like a 10.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better today. But what's your thoughts on the Minnesota game? How are you feeling? Are you juiced? You like that? I'm gonna say that a lot.
I'm kind of nervous because I don't know if I don't think we're gonna have Trent Williams, and I don't trust Jalen Moore. And CMC and Debo. But the other guys that's there should be able to step up. Only person really gets hope is Trent Williams. Because Jalen Moore, I don't know. He hasn't showed me nothing yet to trust him out there. And we got these Vikings supposed to have some, I can't think of his name, a good pass rusher. And but it's a primetime game, and we know that Kirk Cousins hardly don't play good in primetime games. Do you know the record between the 49ers and the Vikings? What's the record?
25, 23, and 1.
Who's in the lead, the Vikings or us?
We lead the series right now.
Okay.
Yep. And we beat them. We played them 6 times in the playoffs. We're 5-1 in the playoffs against them. But when we go play Minnesota. In Minnesota, they have a favorable record. I believe it was. I want to say it was 16-9. I gotta check my note for that. But the Vikings, they tend to win games when they're in Minnesota. They don't when they come out to California. So this is
Yeah.
definitely going to be a interesting game.
Yep. And
Chris is
hope
right.
Brock Purdy. I hope Brock Purdy plays good. Have a good game today. Monday. So the game he had on Wednesday. Thursday, Sunday.
So Chris is right. In 1987, we played them, and the one time they beat us in the playoffs was in 1987. The Vikings have been a really good team. What's neat about them is since they've came into the league since 1961, they've made the playoffs in average every decade. That's 70 years, almost 80 years of making the playoffs every year. At least every 10 years, your team is in the playoffs. They do have a really good playoff record as far as non Super Bowl winning teams. They've been to Super Bowl 4 times and they just haven't got it done. But it's a lot of intangibles there. Sometimes, it's not just about having the best quarterback. It's not just about having the best coach. It's about luck and a lot of things. And there's been some games every team can sit back and say, oh, well, we got lucky there. The Minnesota Miracle, the game where Brett Favre also, won the game at the end of the game. Hey, Brett Favre, isn't he a Packer? Brett went on to play for the Jets. He went on to play for the Vikings. And when he went to play the Vikings, we were up and coming team. It was with Harbaugh, I believe, and we went over there to Minnesota. And if it wasn't for those, toe tapping grabs in the end zone, that man, I can't remember the wide receiver, but I know Brett Favre threw it 30 yards into the end zone, and he come down with the score. So
yeah, Brent Favre always had that luck against us. Always. When he
guns,
was in Green Bay, he felt like he gonna get sacked or the ball should not be caught, but his receiver catches the ball. No, God darn it.
yeah. So the Vikings have been really, really. They're that team you don't want to play, and they're the team you don't want to play because usually they're physical and usually they play 4 quarters against you. And the reason I can say that is because for the last decades, 70 years now, they seem to get into the playoffs. How do they get into the playoffs, Corey? They win games. Right now, they're not doing too good, but everything can change. And why it's you don't want to underestimate a team.
Yep.
You don't. The Niners went into Cleveland, and I don't want to say we underestimated them. I think it was just a really good fight, and it was a good game, and there was plays that could have went both ways, and there was some calls. Maybe you can say the refs had a portion in it, but you can't bank on that, and you can't get mad about that at the end. You should have put yourself in a position to win the game.
Yep.
And same thing with a kicker. Kickers are supposed to do their job, and that's make kicks. When they make kicks, everybody forgets about him and says, "Hey, he did his job." But when they miss, then they're the villain. And at this point, we're coming off of a emotional game where we were that close at the end, and it was windy. So now we're going into a dome. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But last year we played in a dome, and our kicker Robbie Gould missed. So it's not guaranteed. A kick is not. It's a 50-50 chance every time. So they ran all over us. Hey, King Mufasa, thank you for coming. They did. And I'm looking at this game. We're going into Minnesota, and Minnesota is struggling. They are scrapping. They don't seem to really have anybody on offense that they can play with, except for Kirk Cousins. He's like their only guy on offense right now. And their wide receiver Jefferson, he's out.
Yep.
So this looks like it could be a good game for us, especially on Monday night.
Are you surprised that the Vikings are struggling with this? Because in off season, I thought they wouldn't be struggling like this. I thought since Aaron Rodgers left Green Bay, that the Vikings will be on the top of the game. be fighting with Detroit. That's what I thought. Be fighting with Detroit for that division. It will come out of Detroit or the Vikings. So I was surprised to see the Vikings struggling like this.
It does seem to be like they had a little bit of a fall off because they were a really good team back in 2019. They were, some people were saying they were going to beat us. Then we go ahead and, a couple more years down the road. Now, last season, they got into the playoffs. What happened? The Giants beat them. So the Giants really fell off this year. So at this point, I don't want to take them lightly because Kirk Cousins can throw the ball. He knows our coach. And just because he knows our coach doesn't mean he's going to be necessarily playing against our coach. But at this time, he knows what the coach likes to do. And he's not on defense, but he can definitely tell the defense guys, hey, maybe at this moment, you might be wanting to look this way or at least talk to the coordinator. But besides all that, this is a game that we can't lose because it's in the division. We can't lose any more division games. And right now, if we lose against the Vikings, Detroit plays them twice. That's almost in a sense, right? Because that's a division game for them. If we beat them, that's almost us taking a step ahead of Detroit. But if we lose to the Vikings, Detroit goes and wins those two games, that's almost like a 3-game swing on us, isn't it? Your conference teams you're supposed to beat. And a conference game almost counts as 2 games in a sense. If you lose, you're like how far behind your conference. So these games we play against the Seahawks, we play against the Cardinals, and we play against the Rams. Those are almost like 2 games. If you lose it, it almost puts you back 2 games. I don't want to lose against the Vikings this weekend, this Monday night, and I'm looking forward to it. So I put my Roger Craig jersey on today because Roger played for both teams, and I'm looking forward to it. If anybody seen the video clip and you would like to write to the Hall of Fame, we'll get that in the description as well. We're trying to get Roger Craig into the Hall of Fame. He played for the Niners, played for the Raiders, and he played for the Vikings. And that you can't always finish where you start at, and sometimes you finish where you like it the most at, right? So again, what's your thoughts, Corey? What are you looking forward to most on Monday night?
Well, I'm looking for that it seems he's not playing. I'm looking for them to start Mason, but I know in Cal he's gonna start Elijah. Because Mason, he gets 5 yards most every carry. And I know he's not that good coming out the backfield and catching the ball. But I think they should go with Mason because Elijah get hurt, and that calm him from getting hurt a lot. If they run it by committee. I'm looking for if Debo don't play, I'm looking for them to put Ronnie Bell in there. He's a good wide receiver. He runs good routes. And so we should take use of that. And get George Kittle more involved in this game. Get George Kittle more involved. I know he could get him more involved. More touchdowns. But I'm just hoping we having a bounce back, good game. Me and No Border Sports will be doing a Monday night game. It'll be on both of our channels. Yeah, I just want to see a good game. Want to see the 49ers defense step up. Now that Greenlaw's back, tackling should be back to being good. Because that last Sunday game, our tackling was poor. And I think it's because Greenlaw. Greenlaw is like a missile. He
Yeah.
makes his tackles. He hardly misses tackles. He might miss one or two, but he makes the tackles. And that's why I think they lost when Greenlaw wasn't in the Browns game. A lot of Fred Warner's good, but he needs another back to step up, to be able to step up too. And a lot of the other linebackers wasn't stepping up to the plate to make that tackles that they need to do. Lenore keep on improving like he has. He had an interception in that game, so he's doing pretty good. And number 7, he's got watch the penalties. Pass interference. And I'm with you. Jake Moody, I'm sticking with him. I don't know why I see these seasons. Bring him back, Robbie Gold. Bring him back. He missed 2 kicks. It's going to happen. Now if he missed a whole bunch of kicks, then yes, we got to look for another kicker.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You can't have a kicker missing too many kicks. But like you said, it was one game. He missed 2 kicks.
Yep. It's just 2 kicks. And he been sharp ever since to the end. He was the first game he made all his kicks. The second game he made them. In the third game he made them. In the fourth game he made them. In the fifth game he made them. Oh, the fifth game he didn't get it. Yeah, he didn't get a chance. He had to only make bad extra points. So that's probably what he didn't get his practice. That's probably why he missed him too, because he wasn't ready. He like, man, I haven't been kicking from that last game. In the win, he probably not used. I don't know, but that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the 49ers to win. We go 6-1, and I pray that the Eagles lose.
Yeah.
So then it'll be us in Detroit, top dogs in the NFC.
Yeah, Detroit doesn't seem like they're losing too much, do they?
Nope. They 5-1 right now too.
So I'm going to pull up the Detroit schedule real quick. We're going to see what their next couple games looks like, because I'm understanding they got a pretty easy schedule moving forward. They don't have to play us, so that might make it a little easier for them.
Yep. If they did have to play us, I'd be kind of nervous about that game.
Oh, right. They play the Ravens tomorrow. That's going to be a good game. If they can beat the Ravens tomorrow, then they're a legit contender.
Yep.
Then they play the Raiders. Then they play the Chargers, the Bears, the Packers, the Saints, the Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. Cowboys could be a tough game for them. They could lose that game. The Saints, they could lose that game. They could lose against the Packers. Possibly the Chargers. if they lose against the Raiders or the Bears or the Broncos, something must have really horribly happened. The Vikings is a coin flip. The Vikings is a coin flip, so it's just we just got to see what happens with it. So, Corey, when we were going through this slide, I found out that we've had several quarterbacks that's played for the Vikings and the Niners. JT O'Sullivan, Nick Mullins, Sean Hill, Steve Bono, Christian Ponder. And I don't know. Christian Ponder played in 2016, and he also played 2011 and 2014 for the Vikings. So I guess he was there right before he was there. Jim Tomsula, he was Kaepernick's backup, I think, or he was the third stringer. I can't remember, but I remember Christian Ponder. I remember him on other teams more than just the Niners. I thought the kickers was really, really funny. We got kicker Jose Cortez, the living legend himself, who's played on almost every NFL football team, including the Europe football, the Extreme Football League. He's played everywhere. But Jose Cortez, he played for the Niners a couple times. Doug Bryan, the last Super Bowl winning quarterback, played for the Niners, then went and played for the Vikings later on in his career. And there's always somebody that you shouldn't get away. You shouldn't let get away too soon, or that's the one that you let walk away. Gary Anderson. You remember Gary Anderson, number one?
Yep.
He played for a lot of teams. He was the one who missed the kick against the Falcons. The Vikings would have went on, and he missed that kick. And hey, maybe that's why we let him go. But the guy had a leg. I think he had a bigger leg than Janikowski there. He was really, really big kicker. And then they had one long snapper, Kevin McDermott. I think that was really neat to see him. He played for both teams. He played with both teams with both jersey numbers. So that's nice because, sometimes you don't want to have to change your number just because you change colors. And then you remember Randy Moss playing for the Vikings and then coming to the 49ers.
Yep.
Hugh McElhenny. He old school 49er. He played for both teams, and Roger Craig. And then there's like 55 other players, and I put the listing up in the PowerPoint. But we got some games that's been really, really fun to watch. There was the game at Kezar where the Minnesota Viking ran backwards, picked up the fumble and, basically scored for us. We ended up losing that game. That's not fun, but hey, it was funny to see it happen, or at least any of the highlights. Then we did talk about like Brett Favre going to the Vikings and beating us there. We've had a lot of really big matchups. The playoffs, we tend to do really well against them in the playoffs, but there was that one game in 1987. We don't want to talk about that one. And let's see. We beat them really, really bad in 2019 in the playoffs. And since then, since they've gotten Kirk Cousins, it's really kind of switched a little bit because in the last couple of years of us playing them, they went on a winning streak against us until about 2019. So I'm looking forward to the game, Corey. It's again, it's in the Dome. It's in Minnesota, and it should be a game. Do you think Kittle's coming out to? Do you think they're going to target Kittle a little bit more? Because it does seem like on these primetime games, he seems to get a little bit more open or maybe more attention. So with the injuries that's happening,
what day is it?
Saturday. It'll be Monday.
No, but what's Kittle's celebration?
Oh, I'm blanking now. You got me.
Tight end day.
Oh, is it tight end University Day or something on the 23rd?
Yes.
Okay.
It's tight end University celebrating.
Is it for the whole weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said all the tight ends score touchdowns, and when he scored a touchdown on tight ends day, he slams the ball down. So Kyle Shanahan, I said, let's go focus. Let's give George his celebration by giving him a touchdown, calling his plays for touchdowns. I was watching a video last night about that. He was on it's a, snack something. It was something. He was getting interviewed by this lady, and she was asking about tight end day and how it came to be a day of celebration. So,
how did he tell? What was the story? Why did he decide to make it a tight end day?
let me see, how can I put it? He said, oh boy, now I'm kind of going blank. He was saying somehow he told his buddies, and they was always in the locker room. He told Jimmy G, "This is tight end day, so you got to throw the ball to us. This is tight end celebration." And all of a sudden, after that, it started getting bigger. All the tight ends, all the teams start. It's tight end day. He didn't get that big like this. He said the NFL came to him and said, let's make it a celebration. Tight ends day. Okay.
Yeah, I heard something briefly like that, and he said he just wanted to, get a little bit more, credit to the tight ends, and it was just supposed to be something fun. And then the next thing you know, it got a little bit bigger and bigger, and now they got guys that are showing up, who want to be there, and guys who want to come and play there as just the camp arm. So we got a lot of big quarterbacks that are wanting to sign up to go throw the ball to some tight ends, and hey, quarterback isn't the only position on the field. And I know everybody dreams about being a kicker, but you can't be, there's only so many positions on the field, right, Corey? So, we do need offensive tackles. We do need, defensive ends, but sometimes we need other positions too, like fullback and tight end. And that's why, when you go out to play in sports, the coach looks at you and he's supposed to say, okay, ideally you might want to do this, but I think you're better fit here. And if you get a coach who can put you in the right position, where your athletic skills can be, really put out there for everybody to see, that's where it's at. Again, I know everybody grows up and wants to be a kicker, but it just can't happen.
I know. He said he was telling a story about that. They asked him how you became a good blocker. He said, well, his daddy played offensive lineman. And I don't know if it was his high school or college, but he said his daddy played offensive line. His daddy always played in the trenches. One time he played defense, but he mostly played offensive line. And the daddy would drill practice to him. Tackling. Would tell him, give him some pointers when he see him play. And he said when he got to college, they told him, you won't play if you can't block. So they practice blocking like all the time. And so that's why when he came to the Niners, hey, it was a good fit because Niners want you to block.
So. Yeah, us getting Kittle was a really, really something spectacular. We were lucky to get him. He's a good blocker. He can catch. Good guy in the locker room. Good teammate. Yep. On and off the field, you can see it. He does things for the community. Goes to hospitals. if you've ever had someone sick in your life, or a family member or a friend, and sometimes the littlest things count, and you
Yep.
don't realize that until someone's sick. And the Niners were able to go to the Children's Hospital the other day. They showed up. It's on Twitter, so if you follow me on Twitter, I believe I reposted it. But the Niners went and showed up, and Kittle was there, and that's the kind of thing that really makes you feel good. It's like these guys don't have to do that, but they're taking time out of their busy schedule, their life, and showing up to somebody who really just adores and admires them. And truth be honestly, half of us probably can't ever go out there and do the things that these guys are doing. But for the ones that can or have that opportunity to get that close, or you got to try. If you don't try, then you're not really living, right? So if there's a dream you have and you don't push for it, you definitely got to try to.
What got him started in that too was tight end. What was his name? He drove him there. What's that? Number 88. He was 88. Select time set. What week is called?
Was it Gonzalez or something?
No.
Gonzalez was 85.
No, 88 for the 49ers. Before George Kittle. When George Kittle came in, this guy was 88. He was good. He was a good tight end. We got his nickname for him too.
Was it Selleck?
Yeah. Selleck drove him to the hospital to go visit some kids.
Oh, the other day. Okay.
So Selleck was the one that started him going to the children's hospital.
Was it Jordan Matthews? Because I think Selleck wore 85 or 86. But either way, that's really cool, Corey.
Well, he probably was, but it was Selleck. I know it was him. I probably getting his number wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Selleck because looking at all the players, no, Garrett Selleck, you're right. Well, but yeah, you're right, Corey. Garrett Selleck, 2013 to 2019. So Kittle came on the team in 2017, and his number was 88.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. See, that's why we talk, and hey, no one's ever wrong. We just go and look it up. He actually wore 81 and 88. So maybe that's why I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he did change his number.
Yeah, career 91 games, receptions 82, yards 1,104, 12 TDs. Good career. Yeah, good stuff.
And his nickname was Selleck Time, right?
Yep. He always used to go to his watch. It's Selleck time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have Debo who potentially should be playing. His shoulder's a little, sore, but he should be playing. I think he got scared, not scared in a bad way, but I think they got cautious of him, so they pulled him out against the Browns. We were still really, really doing well, I believe, against the Browns. But when CMC came out, that kind of changed things a whole lot. I've watched the game a couple times, and I've watched all 22, so I'm really looking at it, and I'm like, we were in good position that whole game. But I think if these guys are out, against Minnesota might have a better chance against us. But we should be able to handle it. But even if the guys are on the field as decoys and we trust the other guys out there, I think that might be something that we should think about, because if you don't know if the guy's really hurt, if you don't know, but you still have to guard him, in that moment you don't guard him and he goes off, there could be a moment they're not concentrating on CMC. They're not concentrating on Debo, and then you give them the ball, and these guys are yak boys. They'll go right down the field. So Greenlaw should be playing. I think he was our guy that we were missing. He, like you said, he's a missile. He definitely can tackle. He does really well out there, and he is everything that Fred isn't, but he is everything that Fred isn't doing. Fred's doing this
Yep.
over here. He doesn't have to worry about it because Greenlaw's over here taking care of business. And that's
Yep.
that's what you want to, you don't want to have to worry about your back when you're trying to worry about your front, right?
Yep.
At the left side, he's got the right side, and everything's gold, right? So I'm looking forward to that. And like we talked about, hey, rookies make mistakes. Could have been several different things. He did adjust twice with the kick. I'd like to see him just kick it straight down the center. Like, why has he got to
Yep.
get to the side of the hash mark or the other side? And then you see it gets just too close. Just kick it straight down the center. Let's just get in the middle of the right there,
Mhm.
So looking forward to that. No, I don't think Oren Burks will make the Pro Bowl either. I think if he does, then it'd have to be on special teams. Corey, do you think this is a Mason game? Is
Amazing.
Jordan
game.
coming to play?
Jordan.
Yeah, are they taking Mitchell out? They're going to put Jordan Mason in a little bit?
I hope so. And yeah, this will be a big test for Mason. Saying, hey, without CMC, we still won the game, man. And the Vikings defense right now, they probably, because they don't know CMC not playing or playing not, they has to right now get their mind saying straight and say, we got to stop if CMC don't play. We got to stop Jordan Mason. Or we got to stop Elijah. But I hope it's Mason. I want to see Mason.
I do too, but I think they'll go with Elijah if he's healthy.
Yep.
Even though I think Jordan's got fresh legs, or seems to be a burst, just different, just totally different. Maybe more aggressive, maybe just quicker. But Mitchell, before we had CMC, we did depend on Mitchell, and before everything started happening and stuff, he would always get tackled, but he'd fall forward, and
Yep.
falling forward, you get more yards. But during this season, the preseason, the training camp, I don't know what he did, but he riled up the defense, and they kept knocking him on his butt. So putting him on the ground, and he wasn't going forward. So I don't know if there's something, he has an injury that's still lingering, if he just doesn't have it anymore. But I think this will be the game they put him in, and if he doesn't start out quick or start out, I think they take it from him and they give it to Jordan Mason. And at this point, I don't know about TDP. What's your thoughts? Is he even going to be, do we see TDP at all this year?
We might. If Elijah can't go, they might get TDP out there. And him, the only thing scary about him is he can't block as good. I know a lot of times in the preseason, he was missing that block and getting our quarterback killed out there. He had trouble picking up the blitzes and stuff. So he needs to work on that. And then, but he can run. He can run good. Once he get the ball in his hand, he can run good. But it's just his blocking skills is kind of hurting him.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're not able to block, then you're not really going to get the rock. If you can't block, then you're not going to be able to be on the field when someone else is getting the rock, because we can't count on you. So their blocking skills have to improve. I definitely agree with that. I would like to see the three-headed monster come back. I'd like to see them have like three
Yep.
different, backs in a rotation. But right
Yep.
now, I don't see that happening. I don't see it
Yep.
happening. Not because CMC is not willing to come off the field. I just don't see that, Mitchell is healthy. And I think you're right. I think Mason and TDP have to learn how to block better. If they don't, wow. I think maybe the only person we kick next year would be Mason, just because the other two, I think we could get something out of Elijah, and I think we can get something out of TDP. TDP is a third round pick, and we're not using them. So it doesn't necessarily matter what draft selection you get selected at. If you're not the best player, they're not going to put you on the field. And
just like, I wonder if he's playing Monday night, or is he out hurt, or did the Vikings release him? Because didn't the Vikings get our third round we drafted. What was the name? And he never got on. What was the name? Oh goodness.
Trey Sermon went to
Sherman.
Trey Sermon went to the he went to the Eagles.
Oh, you went to Eagles, never mind.
We got their one oh my gosh, now I'm trying to think of the running back, but we got the running back in like 2017 or 20 McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon, and he got hurt in preseason, and that kind of hurt us. And then the next year, we went and drafted, some running backs, but that year he got hurt. And then the next year, so then he goes on to go to the Super Bowl, and then our Trey Sermon goes on to go to the Super Bowl. It's funny how things work out sometimes, but
yeah,
I don't think Trey Sermon's on the Eagles anymore.
Okay. No, I thought he went to the Vikings, but no, he went to the Eagles.
Yeah, let's see where Trey Sermon's at right now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think our defense is going to be pretty good against their offense. I think this is a time to see a little bit more of Gregory. I think he did really well out there.
Yep.
I didn't dislike it, but I just think he was doing better than Drake Jackson. Does Drake Jackson have an injury, or what's your thoughts?
Drake Jackson was out there, but he wasn't making the big plays like he did in the first game. So it might be an injury that's slowing him down. I know a couple games he came close to sacks. He got hurried on the quarterback.
Yeah, Trey Sermon's not on the Eagles anymore. So couldn't take a fifth running back. That's okay. Probably somewhere. You can't find him right now. But yeah, Gregory played really well. Drake Jackson did. I didn't see Kinlaw too much in the game. I'm going to go back and watch for just certain players again. Bosa did okay. I didn't like, he almost had the interception. There's some calls. Geez, but you can't worry about the calls. You have to go out there and just play the game. And at the end of the day, hopefully you can, get it done. But looking forward to this game, Corey. It's going to be a couple days away, so we can definitely get excited. For tomorrow, we got a couple good games on tomorrow that everybody can possibly tune in and take a look at. But 5:15, everybody go check out Corey Davis. Just type it in with a K, and you'll be able to find him. And tune into his show on Monday. What are you guys starting at 5:15, right before the game starts, or right when the game starts?
We probably starting right when the game starts.
Awesome. That's going to be a lot of fun. I've definitely been enjoying it. If you guys, sometimes aren't able to watch the games, maybe you can hear the game. And if you can't find a good radio station or a good channel or, somebody to listen to, definitely take a look at Corey Davis. And it's a lot of fun coming on. Well, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming. I'd like to show you the PowerPoint one more time. It takes a couple minutes. So before we get out of here, Corey, thank you for coming today. We're going to go ahead and end right after the PowerPoint. So if everybody would just like to stick around for a little bit longer, that'd be great. Corey, hopefully I can see you here again. We'll be going live tomorrow if you can make it. We'll be doing a little bit of a breakdown on the rest of the league and, going over our analysis, maybe talking about some injuries or some weather reporting or, maybe some fun uniforms changes. So definitely tune in tomorrow. We'll try to be going a little bit earlier than we did today. But guys, further ado, thank you for coming. Please like and share, subscribe, tell people about the channel, tell them about Corey Davis as well. And let's take a look at this. If you want to add any time to, go ahead and pause, take a look. There's a lot of good notes and good information here. So once again, go Niners, stay faithful. Corey, thank you so much for coming and take a look. We're going to be playing the Vikings on Monday night. So go
Go
Niners.
49ers State.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.